Time now for another In the Legal Know with Vincent J. Russo. And today Vincent is here with ways that parents with a child with special needs can protect their child. Vincent, so important. So I'm so glad you're here to talk about this. You know, this all comes part of estate planning, right? That you should.
Yes, it's an important element of estate planning for parents, especially if they have a child with special needs. Every parent's number one concern when they have a child is they want the best for them. They want them to be taken care of. They want them to be protected. And that there's a heightened issue here when a parent has a child with special needs. And that question that no one wants to really face is, what happens if I, the parent, pass away and my child is still living and needing help and care and services? So planning becomes so critical, but it's so hard. From my personal experience with Teresa and meeting with hundreds of families, you're so concerned about your child, you don't want to face the what ifs. So today I want to talk about the what ifs and the most important vehicle that parents can use, which is a supplemental needs trust.
Okay, tell us what that is. And boy, when you say most important, heads up, everybody. You really need to hear this.
So a supplemental needs trust is a trust that the parents can set up. Initially, they can be the trustees, and it can be funded with assets while they're alive or upon their demise. And those assets and the income from those assets will be used to supplement the care of the child with special needs, pay for living expenses, pay for medical care that's not covered by government benefits. The beauty of this trust is that it also allows the child to qualify for government benefits, such as social supplemental security income and Medicaid. So the assets and income are not counted against the child. And that's a tremendous benefit. So just to summarize, first of all, there's asset management. The child's not able to manage the assets, supplement the needs of the child, and then maximize those government benefits.
Wow. Okay. So when should a parent do this?
Okay. So, and that's a question many parents will ask. Do I set the trust up now while I'm alive, or do I set it up under my will? And every situation has to be kind of considered on its own. But I would say this: if the parent wants peace of mind, they want the comfort of knowing they've taken the steps to protect their child, set it up while you're alive. You can put a nominal amount of money in it. You can put money in it as time goes on. It can be revocable, so you can change it. So it's very flexible. But I think parents really value the comfort of knowing they've taken a proactive step to do something that's going to be protective for their child. So it can be done under a will, but I would say a standalone living supplemental needs trust would be better in most cases. Disadvantage, right, is there's some additional expense involved, setting it up while you're alive versus under a will. It's well worth it.
You know, some people may say, well, why not just, leave everything to the siblings?
Eek! Oh, that's terrible.
Go ahead.
All right. I call that
Explain the
I call
eek.
that risky business because, first of all, there's this assumption. Every sibling is capable and available to take care of their sibling, and that they have the wherewithal to manage assets and make sure they maximize government benefits. Then there's a real world. And we need to live in the real world. And it's tough sometimes to say, I got to face reality. My child may not be available. My child may not have the wherewithal to be that person. So why not take steps to do it in a more protective way? Put the assets in a trust. You can name the sibling as a trustee if you want, but now we have guardrails. We have a system in place to make sure we're maximizing those government benefits. So here are the what ifs. What if we leave it outright to the sibling? And the sibling's a good person, well-intentioned. And what happens if they become disabled? What happens to those assets? What happens if they pass away?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
What happens to those assets? What happens if there's a financial crisis? They lose their job and now they don't have any money. So now they're going to start to use the money that was set to be set aside for the child with special needs. And so it's risky. I say, eek. Don't do it.
Too many what ifs. How about that?
Yes, too many what ifs.
Scared me with the eek.
Yeah, I know. I was pretty loud.
But I know,
But I feel strongly about it.
I see that. So that is very important.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're like, okay. So you always offer, resources on the website because this can be confusing, and this will help people figure out if this is for them or not.
Sure. We on our website have guides. They're complimentary. And we have a guide on special needs planning at vjrussolaw.com/guides. And what's nice about this guide is it explains to the parent what they should do when the child reaches certain ages.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And it covers all the planning that the parents would need to consider. Comprehensive planning is key. I know it's so hard for those parents to take the time and put the energy into doing it, but I just beg them to do it. They'll be so much better off. The child will benefit from it, and the family.
Yeah, and personally and professionally, this is so important. Vincent, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Important information for parents with a child with special needs, and we will see you next week.
Next week.